I guess we care about what neo-Nazis think now, especially if they're very pro-Trump. Andrew Anglin, who is the founder of neo-Nazi and white supremacist website Daily Stormer, had a meltdown when his idea was blocked out by the company New Balance, which is a shoe company, which is well known to have a vice president who was supportive of Donald Trump and his policies. So this is what Anglin wrote on learning about the vice president of New Balance's support. New Balance is making a gesture to support white people and to support U.S. manufacturing. We need to support that. I see New Balance now becoming the official shoes of white people. New Balance was not interested in that and responded, no.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that.
So look, one of their executives was in favor of Trump. All right, I bet you a lot of executives were in favor of Trump, and he was vocal about it. I actually don't mind that because, I don't want people to be overly politically correct in, okay, you can't say you were for the Democrats or for the Republicans, and otherwise that'll affect business. Okay, so the dude was for Trump, so was half the country, almost. So now these neo-Nazi guys, the Daily Stormer guys, are like, great, that must mean he hates Jews. No, wait, I hope it doesn't mean that.
I'm going to tell you exactly what he thought it meant. So New Balance did release a statement basically to the effect saying, no, absolutely not. We have respect for people around the world. He called New Balance's statement, quote, obviously fake, and that he believes all Jews should be gassed for real this time around. Here's the original statement as per Andrew Anglin, again, the founder of the neo-Nazi white supremacist website. New Balance endorses bigotry and hate in any form. As a 110-year-old company with 5 factories in the U.S. and thousands of white male employees worldwide, New Balance is a Republican-driven organization and culture that believes in white supremacy, integrity, community, and mutual respect for white males around the world. One of our officials was recently asked to comment on a trade policy and was quoted correctly in context. We have been and will always remain committed to manufacturing the United States, ending with, don't let the lying Jewish media get you down. If Trump wants to disassociate from this white supremacist neo-Nazi nonsense, he has to say something. He has to do something meaningful. Otherwise, they're just going to keep saying, like, we're with Trump. This is Trump's. This is Republican. That's in there.
Yeah, let me just build off that real quick, because first, to clarify that statement that the Daily Stormer guy is putting out, he took the New Balance statement where they said, no, we've got multi-ethnic employees all across the world, and yada yada, and he flipped everything on its head. And they're like, no, we don't stand for hate. So now Kim's absolutely right. Republicans are put in an awkward spot where the Daily Stormer is now a relevant website, and so they've got to disavow every time to say no, while the neo-Nazis, the alt-right, go, what are you talking about? Steve Bannon's in the White House. And he won't even disavow us. Trump won't. From time to time, sometimes he'll say, I don't know who the KKK is.
I don't think they should do that in the statement.
And sometimes he'll say, no, I'm not for the KKK. Well, how merciful of you. So they're put in this tough spot where now they got to every time say, okay, we're not against the Jews, we're not with the neo-Nazis, etc. But on the other hand, you guys are the ones that invited them into the party, into the tent, so you shouldn't be surprised when neo-Nazis make a mess. So it's on you, because we're all a little worried that these guys are going to be even more relevant.
Yeah, and it's on you, not just from the top level, but from the grassroots level, which I've been talking about for the past few days, is if you're a Republican and you claim this isn't what you voted for a party that didn't exactly stand for every single Trump ideal, especially for those that are sexist, racist, then you have an obligation. You have an obligation to hold yourself accountable to this, to call this for what it is, clear racism, clear ridiculousness that has been given a form of validation, the same way that David Duke now thinks he's relevant and is trying to organize rallies. That needs to be condemned, not just from Donald Trump, but from Republicans in general. This is the only way we find some sort of progress in this. This is why I'm trying to voice to liberals that I met in New York and everything else, like, we can't condemn every single Trump supporter as this. Yeah. This is not this. Because what that does is it puts us in the same bracket as what the Trump supporters who we have seen throughout were vocalizing about black people, about Hispanics. They may have run into one or two black people in the country who didn't hold himself in the highest regard towards them, and therefore every black person in America is a criminal, does this and that. So we don't want to do what we've been trying to criticize for the longest time, is we cannot start holding people accountable en masse for idiots like this who are trying to do this. And by the way, am I the only one that's going to point out the irony? New Balance, it's the most hipster, liberal shoe in the world. You're supposed to wear them with cuffed jeans and a joint. And people are out here saying that the neo-Nazis are going to be the
I
ones
didn't even know that.
wearing them. Yeah, it went from the dad's shoe, where the dads used to wear them whilst
That's
having
when I would wear them.
whilst having their mobile phone attached to their belt instead of just being nicely in their pocket.
That's so convenient.
So they went from that to the hipster shoe, and now they're the white supremacist shoe. Tough week for New Balance.
Yeah, no, because New Balance is so screwed on this. They didn't ask for it. They just had one guy who said, I like Trump, right?
Yeah.
So just, again, to be super clear and double down on what Francis is saying, Trump got about 46% of the vote. There was the independents, and he lost the popular vote. But 46% of the country is not neo-Nazi.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, at the same time, like I said, there was a lot of winking and nodding, and there is an alt-right, and he did invite them in. The alt-right they're not, some of them are this far out. I hope most of them are not, but I'm not quite sure. If you read the stuff online, I hope that those guys online don't represent everybody in the alt-right. There's just not a lot of good things to say about the alt-right, though, to be honest. Yeah. Okay? So if you're a normal guy who voted for Trump, and there's a lot of you out there, well, that sucks. But now you got to say, hey, I know they're in our tent, but I'm not with them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, make it clear, because you may not think you invited them to the party, but you did. They're in your group. You have to say, we don't stand for this. Yeah. You have to put a clear shutdown to this.
The Young Turks isn't just us. It's also you guys. You make this show possible, and we want to thank you for it, and we want to grow together. We want to be too strong. TYTnetwork.com/join. Let's do it.